Dudes. Oh, he made me experience high tide. Oh. Okay, I got something to talk about today. And I'm starting it right here because I'm in them rich neighborhoods. And my fucking window is completely fucked, as you can see. It don't go up, it don't go down. And so when I have to drive fast, it's fucking screaming. Other than that, that's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about a goddamn Hobbit movies. I had just finished watching all the Hobbit movies. You know, I seen them a long time ago when I was like a fucking child. Back, you know, they say that when you're a kid, your brain not being fully developed is the same experience of that if you were on mushrooms. Just saying. Little fun fact, you know. You learn stuff every day. Learn that I knew that growing up, life was that of being on drugs. Anyways, the fucking Hobbit movies, I just recently watched them for like, you know, I seen them a long time ago, but I barely fucking remember that shit because my life is fading quickly. But oh my god, they're so much better than I fucking remember. Oh man. I have so much shit to say. They're so fucking good. You know, after all the content lately that's been coming out, the shows, it's just like the quality has really dropped in a lot of movies and shows. It's because they're not really trying as hard. The fucking Hobbit movies, man, I went in with the only knowledge of, well, I said I'd seen them before, but you know, with someone like me, I get to experience movies I've already watched again because I have memory problems. So every time I have to watch a movie that I've already seen, sometimes I get to see it for the first time again. And so I went in basically knowing nothing about The Hobbit. You know, a little here and there knowledge. Hold on. I'm only going 50. See how fucking loud that is? It sucks because I have all this road. Alright, this is a great place to continue, I guess. Those fucking movies, man. I went in knowing nothing, basically, but the only knowledge being that there are some songs from Led Zeppelin that are based off, which are actually some of my favorite songs. Awesome. But, oh my god, man. It's so good. If we gotta talk about, you know, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, let's for a second just imagine that they're not movies. It's like with the series like Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, it's kind of like Star Wars. When you watch one movie, you're really watching you know, it's like when I watched the first movie, when it was done, I had no fucking, hold on, can't talk with this motherfucking door, goddamn window, fuck. Alright, so if you watch this fucking far, you haven't realized, yeah, obviously there's gonna be some spoilers because, you know, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's so fucking old that, like, I've never watched the signs, but I know how the entire movie goes because of people, like, because of how fucking, like, people know that movie because of its ending, you know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that signs, Bruce Willis is dead. And if you don't know that already, then you literally have been living under an actual rock, or you just have never, you know, it's not even possible. It's not even possible. If you have existed on this earth, you have seen signs unless you are me. And you've heard about it from someone else. You know how it ends. So basically, the Hobbit movies, I like to think of them like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The only thing I'm disappointed about, I was reading up on it, and it was like, apparently when the Hobbit movies came out, no one was really excited for it. But holy shit, dude, How can you watch the Hobbit movies with the like minuscule amount of knowledge that I know and just be like, oh yeah, they're not that good? Like, fuck you. They're not that good. Have you seen today's content? Fucking shit. People can't even get simple characters down unless it's from a fucking video game and the shit's already there. When it's in a book, motherfuckers can't. They don't even know how to make characters. Shit. Yeah, there we go. Finally some fucking peace and quiet. But these movies, man, it's like, I like to think of it as like a show. You know how like Star Wars has episodes? But like with all the fucking content today, it's like, it's gonna continue being shit. Modern day content. It's gonna continue being shit unless we have people who actually care. You have to actually care about the story and the content, every aspect of it. Or even if you fail one fucking aspect, like the costume department, even, let's just say the costume department, it's especially important. A character's outfit or wardrobe tells a story in itself. You know, it's why so many shows and movies nowadays just suck. Not just because of the costume shit, but I'm getting off track. What, the fucking Hobbit? Oh my god. Man, that's some of the best shit I've ever seen in years. You know, it was like, the first... So, I'm gonna talk about the movies now. Obviously, spoilers. But, God. It was like, when I first watched the first movie, I was like, okay, so this is Bilbo's story before Frodo's. And I was more familiar with the Lord of the Rings, so I've never really sat down and fully watched the Hobbit movies. I've, like, seen other people watch them, you know what I mean? So I was out of context. Well, holy shit, when I watched the first movie, it felt like I saw two movies. So, every movie felt like it was two different movies. I basically watched like 6 movies. 2, 4, 6, you know? And, crazy thing. First movie, I was so confused. There were all these characters, you know, like Thorin, you know, Keely, McLew, you know, like weird fucking names and shit. And these characters were weird looking, little dwarf people. And I was like, okay, alright, well, this is gonna be weird. You know, it's gonna be really strange. I don't know all these fucking people. I don't know. I can't memorize. They're literally like 16 fucking characters, like, in this story. And the weird thing is that Bilbo is supposed to be the main character of The Hobbit. But I like how he's like the main character. But even though I know that he like lives, because it starts when he's old and he's recalling these things, there are moments where I was like, oh shit, is he gonna fucking die? You know, like, because it's like a world of magic and shit. So who's to say that he hasn't died before, you know, like fucking Superman or something. But, you know, I liked how when I watched it, it wasn't like Bilbo was, you know, he's like a guy from a small town. And, you know, like, the skills that he had that surprised the characters later on, they taught him. You know, it's like he didn't just pop out of nowhere and have these skills. You know, he like would do shit by accident and it would end up working. You know, then they would upgrade and they would give him a sword. Then he found a magic ring, you know, it just kept going. It was like watching a character in a video game just evolve by finding stuff and doing quests and shit. And it was really awesome. It was like, but then when this other character came in, the first movie, Thorin, he's like the king, the rightful king of the dwarves. And man, immediately the setup in the movie was great. It was like, it starts out, there was a king who went insane due to gold, and so he didn't notice a dragon came in, he like fucking killed half the people and took over like all the gold, and the dragon would just sleep in the treasure and shit. Awesome. And I like how it was like referenced, you know, like the eye was referenced in the first movie, and then he was full on a character in the second one, and then, you know, and the third movie felt like a series finale. Like if I was watching a show and it was a series finale, that's how I felt it was. You know, and then I saw the character Thorin came in, and I was like, oh my god, this guy feels like a main character. You know, he's like the rightful son of a king, the rightful king, but he's the son of a guy who was a king, obviously. That's how he became king. No shit. But it's like, you know, when I saw his character, I was like, man, this guy is a main character. He is like the Batman fucking... He's the Batman, like, look on him where he's like, you know, like, my life is horrible. And I'll get back, you know, I'll get my revenge, you know, type of shit like that. And it was awesome. And it's like, man, watching them go on that long-ass adventure and the fact that it took fucking forever to get them there. You know, it's like the second movie, they finally get there. The first movie feels like two different movies. You know, first you get to convince Bilbo to go, and then you get his ass there. Well, you have to first get to convince him to go, which was hard. And then, you know, it's like Gandalf went on an entirely different adventure than these motherfuckers. You know, it's like Gandalf was like over here, then over there, then he was leading them again, and then boom. I love how Sauron finally was referenced. Fucking awesome. Sauron has got to be my favorite character in Lord of the Rings universe because, you know, he's just so fucking evil. It's so cool, you know, that he was able to just carve a ring out of his hatred because he just so fucking evil that he can just, you know, imbue it with his hatred like that, you know. But, you know, watching the Hobbit movies, I just watched the Hobbit movies. I'm going to start watching Lord of the Rings. And I like how, okay, so it was like the second one. You know, the first one they reference like the elves, right? And the elves are like complete stuck-up assholes. They're fucking, you know, they got a goddamn light post up their ass. You know, they're you know, annoying. But I like how there was one point where one of the dwarves was like, he was starting to get into this elf chick, and it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like forced or anything. It was just like, oh, that probably would happen in real life, you know, like somebody would come along and then, you know, they're different species and they're like, people hate each other, but it was an unspoken thing, you know, it was unspoken. And it's so fucked because when you see shit like that, you always think, oh, you know, in the end, there's always going to be people that, you know, they always get together and they live happily ever after in a fucking hill. But the fact that that guy died, Keely fucking died, and his brother died, and I can't believe it. Oh, yeah. So the third movie is insane. Third movie is like a series finale. And I noticed in the third movie, a lot of people were talking about how and they didn't like the beginning of the third movie because it was like, oh, the dragon's defeated immediately. But you can't look at it like that. The beginning of the third movie is the end of the second movie, if you think about it. Because the end, they convince the dragon to leave, and he's like, you know what? You want my gold? I'm going to kill this whole town to prove you how powerful I am. And so he does. And when he does, he actually does do it. Like, they don't fully stop him. Like, he destroys the fucking city. These people are without a home, and half their people are dead. And boom, right when you think there's no hope, bam, a fucking arrow right through his goddamn chest. A fucking dragon. Awesome. I didn't even know there were dragons in this world. And let alone they all talk. That's weird. You know, I love it. It's crazy shit. But it's awesome. You know, there's like spiders that talk. They have trolls. They have these like things that look like trolls, but when they like touch the light, they fucking turn to stone. Awesome shit. Hold on.